Carl from Studio In Car. Today we're going to do something slightly different. I want to force upon you the 4 things that I think should be done to any Defender, any classic Defender, to make them sound good. And not only sound good, but be a much nicer place to be in when you're driving them. Let's go. Let's start at number 1, sound deadening. So it's as quiet as a mouse in here now. You can probably hear how my voice has changed from up at my desk to in this truck. Now these reverb like crazy, these things, when they're not done. It's quite hilarious how loud they are, really. But when they're fully deadened like this, the difference is just incredible. And of course we can do the we can do the exterior panel tap tests. We reduce the resonant frequency of this truck to way below what it is from factory with no deadening. Massive upgrade. It's not just, I mean, it is purely a sonic upgrade, but it's not just about the stereo. You could do a full sound deadening package or a full sound deadening project without doing the stereo. The standard stereo will naturally sound better because the environment becomes quieter. I hope that, is understood. But it's just things like shutting the door and things like road noise when you're driving, and all that stuff is just reduced. It has a much more solid feel to the truck than it does without it. With these we use a 3mm butyl aluminium backed liner, and then we use a 6mm thermoacoustic barrier as well, so it has that sort of thermal property to it. You may find the car will be a little bit drier because it can control its cold temps and hot temps much better with that thermal barrier in the roof. Step 2 is the underseat mid basses. I can't stress how important it is in a classic Defender that we put the mid basses in the seat boxes. Most of them, 98% of them, we can. Some of the really early ones, they're kind of open to atmosphere underneath there, so we really can't be putting speakers in there, but most of them are relatively sealed units. The battery's in the left one, fuse boxes and stuff in the right one. We make an aperture for the driver on the front, which goes behind your heel, and the gain that those mid-bass speakers get from being in that box when it's properly sound deadened, step 1, is just fantastic. You could run without a sub realistically if you were just looking for much better output than the factory system has. It is a super valuable spec within the classic Defender. Really good mod. Right here, see where my feet go? Behind my ankle there is the mid-bass speaker. It's paramount that these go in here, really. This box, fully deadened, acts as a really nice sort of space for this. If anything, we end up with way too much bass, so we end up turning these down quite a lot because they can be a little bit lively because of the space they're given inside these enclosures, but that's good. Headroom is what we want from from mid-bass. We want to have to turn it down rather than have to try and lean on it to turn it up, Super effective modification that. I can understand why some wouldn't want that aperture put there. My emphasis is always going to be on the way something sounds. It's always going to be on creating a better stereo. Having this hole here, the compromise in comparison to the output that you get, the upgrade that you get, it's just significant. Yeah, really good mod. Step 3 is a functionality upgrade, an Apple CarPlay radio, wired or wireless, Android Auto, things like that. Stuff like having your maps and all of your streaming apps and calls and everything just all in one place really brings these trucks bang up to date. I know the purists amongst you might not want to convert the dash to a double din, but it can look really nice and it can fit within spec of the truck itself and really not look that out of place. You can do this for Puma, you can do it for TD5, great upgrade. Simple, sort of straightforward upgrade. It's a little bit tricky to get it all in and sitting nice. This side panel here, you can you can change for various different things. This one we fitted a 9-button unit, which is a sort of custom unit. It's gloss to match the fascia. The original truck had a gloss fascia as well, but the function that this radio brings to the car is just ridiculous. Not only is it really safe in terms of using your phone, you know, voice to message, things like that, but DAB, radio, Bluetooth, CarPlay, maps, all of your CarPlay relevant apps, everything like that. And of course Android Auto, you know, and all of the same for Android Auto as well. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, the CarPlay unit, in my opinion, for the Land Rover Defender. Step 4, a DSP amplifier. Okay, so we want control of the way things sound. We don't just want to chuck all this kit in the car and expect it to sound good, or just deal with how it sounds when we're done. We want to be able to bring that sound right back down to 0 and then build it up as we see fit, because there are tricks to these cars to getting them sounding good, and we know them, and we can only really do that with DSP. So we can run every speaker actively, we can give them plenty of power, we can manipulate each and every speaker in there, including the subwoofer. Think high performance race car with a mappable ECU, right? You just slap any old ECU on there, it's not really going to work, you know, especially not how we want it to work. And that's exactly what sound tuning does. It makes the system sound the way we want it to sound. And speaking of that, sounds like it's just been finished, so let's go and take a look. And that just sits down there in the passenger sort of under seat box with the speaker. The speaker is also in there. That's what enables all that power, all the system control, and the way that things sound, the way that those tweeters are right up in the front corners of the dash, but they sound really nice and subtle, you know. So that's key, that, to the system. Anyway, that's our 4 stages of what I think you should do to the Defender. Shout out to James as well. This is his 110. I've decided to do this video slightly differently, just to sort of show your classic Defender guys what, you know, what you should do in order to get things to sound good. You can of course do what you like really, but following those few rules you should end up with a nice little worldy system, you know. This has had a full three-way front end, Midbase Pro, so it's our level 2. Level 1 is just speakers, level 2 is DSP amp and speakers, that's sort of a mid-tier, and then level 3 is just much more custom. You've seen plenty of each step from us, you know. CarPlay, Sony 6050, this is the last 6050 we will ever fit. Different video for that coming soon. Fantastic unit, and I'm disappointed that it's the last one that we'll be doing. Gloss black doubled in fascia, fitted really nicely. Gloss black 9 switch, sort of custom thing there. Switch panel, I suppose you call it. There's various different options for that, but the most popular one has this silly circular gauge or clock holder that no one seems to know what it's for. It's useless. Full sound deadening, of course. We've installed all new carpets for him. Of course, the 6mm, 3mm liner in the roof, 3mm liner everywhere else in the car. Doors, bulkhead, the lot. 12-volt socket in the rear of the car. Some fast charging USB-C sockets in, you know, in the front of the car as well. Yeah, flying. Wicked job. I'm Carl's Studio in Car. Get in touch with us if you have a 110, you want us to do all of these steps, or if you want to take them on yourself, let us know how you get on. Alright, have a nice day. The difference is just crazy, isn't it?